Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Truthcast Podcast. I'm your host, Preach. Um, Today we got a brother in the Lord with us. Um, I'm not going to do a long introduction like I usually do. You know, I'm not because I don't think this guy needs it. This few weeks ago, and I'm going to say this before we go inside the interview. I think it's just a week ago. He sent me a video, and I looked at it. All right, and his testimony. So many people can coincide. Maybe the word I'm really looking for is they can they can like yeah
Relate.
they can the
Relate.
word I'm looking for relate. Yes, relate. They can relate to his testimony. Um, Many of people didn't know that he wasn't even a gospel or Christian artist at first. No, he wasn't. Thinking like this guy, he always tried to be in his Bible. He always tried to stay close to get in a relationship with God and everything like that. But no, everybody is not like they seem all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear his testimony and how God brought him, it is amazing. So let's welcome our brother here today. Just give us a quick introduction, who you are, what's your
Appreciate
name,
you, man.
and let's get to it.
What's going on, guys? I'm blessed to be here. I appreciate it. I told Preach before, like when I first see him, it motivated me, right? Because even like he's saying on my testimony, when I gave my life, I'm so much older. So I always tell him like it's a blessing that he's so young, in this walk. So I try to support him all I can.
Yeah.
But I'm Frank McFly. I'm a faith-based music artist from Brooklyn, New York. So I also own like a nonprofit. We founded a nonprofit organization that do a bunch of things like back to school drives, feed the homeless and stuff in that nature. And we also got like a men's fellowship group. It's called Iron Sharpens Iron. Similar to other men's fellowship groups where we meet together once a week. We do men's Bible studies, giveaways, and things of that nature, just helping each other stay on course. But I'm happy to be
hmm
here, and I'm happy. Shout out to you and everything you're doing. It takes a lot of energy to do this.
Yes, it's it really does. Really does a lot of research, a lot because being a Christian podcaster now, other podcasts is actually it's hard, but it's not hard to find guests.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Christian podcaster, you got to look at the background because every Christian that have John 3:16 on their profile in their bio is not always Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to be like, let me test this. Let me see what this person about. Let me DM him. Let me see what his background is, stuff like that. Let's get into it. Knowing you was from a Christian background. Your family was Christian. They always tried to teach you the fear and admonition of the Lord. Tell us, how was that like? As a child,
So
I know the
I only
mindset
had
was
a
like,
couple of
no,
people.
there's something better out there.
No, I only had like a couple of people. Like,
Go.
and my bad for cutting off. Like we online, so sometimes the connection is a little funny. But I ain't really grow
Yeah,
up in the church
yeah.
at all, right? I attended from time to time with different family members, but I actually go to a bunch of different ones. Like sometimes
hmm
I go to a Catholic church, sometimes I go to like a Christmas Christian church, sometimes or in different types of Christians. It's like Baptist and you got Pentecost, like it's different types also. So I really grew up doing whatever I wanted to do. I didn't really have an understanding of God. I always thought God was like any like all the religions has the same God, it's just different names. So that's how I viewed it until I really read the Bible and came into the truth for myself.
Mm. So being in all these different kinds, because you really was getting taught so many religions, you really couldn't find out
Mm-hmm.
what is the real path. You couldn't really find out for yourself because you was like you say you were in a Catholic church. Catholic teach sometimes different things these days. I mean, like the
Mm-hmm.
true Catholic nowadays, Catholic they try to put God inside everything. But if you look at the real history and what it was really founded in, I think a lot of Catholic people would be moving away from that religion.
Exactly.
Some Baptists are messed up. Um, I'm not saying Pentecostal is always holy and on fire as well. Some of them are messed up. But but you being being you all where you was all in all those churches, you being all in all those churches, different places. What was in your mind?
I really was just I had the same mindset that a lot of people be having, that it's just about being a good person. You don't really understand the how intricate
Mm,
our God is, right? And you don't even understand God himself, how personable he is, because you don't really truly know God. So you don't know what he like, what he don't like. You just think like, oh, it's about being a good person. It's about being nice to this person. You kind of you
wow.
kind of got that
Hmm.
karma, new age religion type of mindset. Like the person, wherever you go,
Mm,
that's the person
hmm.
that makes the rules, whoever house you in. It's not really biblical, right? So when you diving into the word and you like,
Right.
oh God, do forgive me. You know what I mean? He's not mad at me at all times. Oh, God is not far away from me. He's actually near me. Oh, God do want me to read my word every
Yeah.
day. Like, so you start learning who God is. You start learning what he wants you to do, right? What he's saying in his word, if you believe his word, but the belief is a blessing already just to have that belief. So you start breaking them chains that you
Mm,
had, that them breaking them old mindsets. And I was blessed by not being in church all the way, because there's certain church traditions and cultures that I wasn't aware of. So I kind of was blessed by not retaining anything from ever going to any church. So when I came to the Bible, it was just me and the Bible. It wasn't like I got an old doctrine that this preacher said or old culture that this other church said. It was just me and the Bible. So I think it made my walk actually easier by not growing up in church.
mm-hmm. All right. All right. So knowing hearing your testimony, you was kind of like a party kind of guy. Am I right?
Yeah.
When you was a teenager. Tell us
Hmm.
about that.
My teens going up to even my early 20s, right? I was into partying. Like we partied every day. I think it's more than one reason though. One is we grew up like in a low income neighborhood, right? I was from Brownsville, Brooklyn. So it's like one of the worst neighborhoods in the world. Uh with the crime rate, with the poverty
Right.
rate, stuff like that. So me looking back and examining now, a lot of times we partied and have fun because you forget all of the drama and trauma that you're going through, right? You forget maybe a meal you was missing. You forget your
Right.
friend that passed away. You partying all the time to get your mind off what's really going on, right? Things that's going on at home. So it's all of you guys
Facts.
as a group, right? Because the whole
Facts.
community is going through it. So y'all all
Facts.
party every day. And that's when you drinking and you smoking, but you really just running away from stuff. And when you get older and you connect to the Most High, you be like, oh, I could bring all of this to Him, right? I don't have to hide or push it to the side by doing this other stuff. And you start see like, yeah, this is not
Facts.
it.
Facts.
This is not it. We all just dying together, right? We all just lost together, and we think this is fun, but it's not fun.
Facts. Facts. Facts again. Was it true? Was it true that a family member of yours passed away when you was a teenager?
I had like one of the older songs. So I used to do, before I switched, like True Preach was telling y'all, before I switched to like Christian and faith-based music, I used to do regular music, right? So I was in the music industry at all. So that's consumed with a lot of drinking, smoking, partying, over sexualizing stuff, because that's what I was raised on. Like, this what you got to do if you want to sell. This what you got to do if you want to be cool. So that's what I was raised up. So in that, I come in, like I told you, from one of the worst neighborhoods, and me just being popular. I had a song where I named so many people that died. I knew I lost a lot of people. Like even now, like I still lose a lot of people because it's still friends I know from these neighborhoods and places. So I lost probably over 40, 50 people I know that died. It's over
Mm,
like 10 people I know that really got laced right at a young age. Lace meaning like they smoked the wrong thing or
wow.
took the wrong pill that really got them out of their mind at a certain level now. So it's trauma after trauma, a lot of things that I've seen. And that's what added to me doing the nonprofit organization. I could have a small impact on these neighborhoods by that. Your mic muted by accident, Preach.
Oh,
What you was
sorry.
saying?
As I was saying, you do not see you do not hear a lot of people creating a lot of nonprofit organizations because You don't get no really income out of it. You don't get no money. There's nothing there really to help you. But when you just really look at it and start thinking about there's more than money in life.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to look at a video on Instagram actually, and he was saying, would you rather have $1 million when you get up, or would you rather get no, he's would you rather have $1 million today? And the guy was quickly answered, said yes. He's like, wait, before you answer, would you rather have $1 million today? Wait. He said, would you rather have $1 million today? Then tomorrow you won't get up. He said, or would you rather have $1 million today and your mom died? He said, or would you rather have $1 million today and you have bad health? You can't lift your hands no more. You can hardly breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, no. I rather have I'd rather get up tomorrow. I'd rather have good health. I'd rather have my mom still living.
Exactly.
Money is not that important. Coming to think of it, when I saw that video and he stated it in that video that there was more things more important than money. Is people take it for granted until
Mm-hmm.
it come to them, until they lose that ability, lose the ability to walk, and then they start thinking, wow, I can't go to the bathroom by myself. I know I shouldn't probably just use that analogy going to the bathroom, but
Nah.
you start thinking about the little things
Mm-hmm.
that you used to do. And
Exactly.
no, I said you start thinking about the little things that you used to do. Your mic is the camera's froze a little bit. Oh, all right. Let's see if it's back online.
You good now?
Um, you got probably some weak connection, but we can work that out. But yeah, we can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You hear me? I'm good.
Okay, I think you're back. Uh,
All right, I'm good.
yeah, you're good. You're good. But yes, as I said, there's way more important things than money.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned this. It was on your birthday or your brother's birthday. I think it was your brother's birthday. I think you might know the story I'm about to mention up. It was your birthday or your brother's birthday?
It's my brother's
He
birthday.
called you and he's like, okay, he's like, hey, bro, like, we going to Aruba? What was it?
Aruba, yeah.
Aruba. What was the place you're going to? Some kind of place y'all were going to for his birthday. He's like, we gonna go to this place, and he's like, all right, bet. Came there, got everything packed up. You start smoking, you start getting high, and you mentioned in your testimony like you didn't even usually do those things, but here you got yourself caught up smoking on camera, saying this is life. Like you can't live life without this and that. Like you were smoking with your cigarette, you had a liquid bottle in the hand. Tell us about that. Tell us about
Yeah.
that because on that night, or that night or the next night, your life changed, really changed. So
Exactly.
tell
The
us about that.
ironic part is that you even bringing up that story, right? The ironic part is that was this same day, just a couple of years ago. And it's funny that you bringing up that story. His birthday is tomorrow, right? So it's that same
Um,
time. So yeah, we was in Aruba for his birthday. So you was living the party lifestyle, like stuff you might see, like so we on the boats, popping champagne, smoking cigars, all that
mhm.
type of stuff. And like I said before, that's what stuff that was promoted, like stuff that we are seeing like music videos, like jet skis and a bunch of provocative girls dancing on the like we see that. So it was planted in our mind like, oh, this is the life. So when we doing it, I'm like, yo, this is the life. Even though I'm diving in my word little by little and knowing like, nah, this ain't really it. It wasn't until like the next day, like you said, we already out there in Aruba. It's this same time a couple years ago. Then I'm on the boat, like it's going a regular party in the boat, everybody having a good time. And then God just spoke to me like, nah, this ain't it. Like if you continue this after today, you made your choice type of thing. Right. So that's on the boat. He hit me in the middle of the boat.
Can
So
you can we
you hear me?
can you repeat that again because your mic is cutting out? Yeah, I hear you, but you're cutting out a little bit. Just repeat a little bit of that
Okay,
again
yeah. So we on the
when
boat
you was
party.
talking about the boat.
Yeah, we on the boat party and having a good time, right? And in the middle of that, middle of champagne popping,
Mm-hmm.
girls dancing, water splashing, smoking cigars, right? A bunch of foolishness going on at once. Music blasting that's not
Right.
edifying, right? God, like, nah, this not it. Like he put it in my head, like this not it. You either going to be down with me, or you going to be in this. That's not it for forever.
Wait, you're cutting out in and out. I'm gonna play the music video of yours, and we're gonna see when we come back after I play this music video if everything is back online.
Turn me up. Oh, pray the Most High. He know I'm ready to ride. Most of my people be living a lie, they living facade, drilling, they ready to die. Demons be lurking, I'm even in odds. I got the rock and I'm a yacht. Feel like Isaiah, swore in the spirit, so please come near me, I'm serious. I know that they curious, whoa. I took a break for a period, back and I'm going insane, I'm delirious, whoa. I had a godly experience, devil lost me and I know that he furious, whoa. Learning the Texas, I cater to minds, haters don't give it no time. They drinking Ciroc, I'm reading Ciroc, 18 verse 5. Yeah, let's get it on. I'm stomping the devil all morning. Tattoo on my mind is charming. Word is spit for you, know I'm performing. I don't drink, but the blessings are pouring. Giving money for shots, alarming. Set to see all my brothers conforming. Staying focused, I'm watching for warnings. I ain't think it would be me. I was lost, addicted to TV. And the peas was towing the now they mad cause I'm rocking my ZZ. Meditate on the scriptures I reread. God love me and that's where the kiki. Got the Tory, he made us a cheat sheet. I repent for sins I don't repeat. Elohim, 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 Yah. He got me out of my element. I wanna do what his heaven says. Every guy knock for embezzlement. Universe is not equivalent. Last days stay vigilant. I am my only predicament. Legions be knocking, don't let him in. Don't need no pope or no middleman. I pray to Yah for my benefits. You don't believe that it's relevant. Watching the stories developing. Words that you give it so elegant. I trust your intelligence. Spirit is my best embellishment. Judging me for my melanin. They treat us like boo-boo the fool. They putting drugs in our food. Look what they teaching the kids at the school. Hate the commandments but follow the rules. Lord the army, so how can I lose? Gotta discern and seal the clue. Fake information controlling our views. Ask to be real, well I'm the proof. No lukewarm, yeah I'm in that mood. Carry my cross, he carried it too. Think that they're blessed cause they paying their dues. Was lost and was saved, don't got no excuse. Yeah, it's together that glue. Fire is growing, I'm smelling the flue. Quenching the word, don't know about you. Yeshua is coming to give us reviews. Repent. Yeah.
Things that you're entertaining yourself with, feeding yourself with, and then you wonder why you can't hear from God. Sometimes you just gotta get before the Lord. God knows what's going on in your home, but I promise you, I know that if you will allow the Lord to intervene and do His thing, that you can save yourself of hardships. You can save yourself some tears. If you open your heart to receive from the Lord, it'll save your life. Save me. Deliver me. And fill me with your spirit. Come into my heart. Change my life. And I vow this day to live for you. I'm going to get this word to you, line upon line, precept upon precept. I'm not here to entertain you, but I am here to help you. And I hope you've been blessed.
Yeah, we back online. Everything. The video is
perfect, you hear me now?
Perfect, but sorry for the Yeah. So go on. The question we was talking about was it was on his brother's birthday, everything, and he called her. They went to Aruba, and God changed his whole life because he was living half kind of Christian, sort of. I don't know what you call it, but he was living
I was a hypocrite.
Lukewarm Christian. Hypocrite. Okay, he can say a hypocrite. So
I wasn't even a Christian.
But yeah, tell us about that.
I wouldn't even call it even being a Christian, because a Christian is a person that I was going to put something else, right? Like in Antioch is when they first called them Christians, and they call them Christians because as a derogatory term, and that's wise because they was moving like Christ. So I wouldn't even call myself a Christian in that time because I wouldn't be worth it calling myself a Christian. I think now the term is more promoted, but it's supposed to be like, oh, I can tell you a Christian by how you living, how you moving, how you walking. So I wasn't even a Christian at that time. I was living in sin. I was lost, right? So in the middle of that, but I was working on it. I was reading my word. I was seeking God, right? Even in the middle of that lostness, I started reading my word not too long from there. So in the middle of that, God, like, you're going to make two choices. You're going to be living in sin, and that's it. Like, I'm good off of you, or you're going to follow me for real, right? And in the middle of that boat, I made a video. I said, yo, this is my last trip. I just said that out loud to them. Like, this is my last trip. I'm not going on no more trips with y'all. They was laughing like, yo, you crazy. I'm like, nah, record this. So they recorded a video. And in the video, I'm saying like, yeah, this is my last trip. I'm good, blah, blah. And then we was in Aruba still for like probably like 3 more days. And after that day, I didn't go to no more parties. I didn't do nothing else. I stayed in my room. We had like a big house we overstaying, and I just stayed in my room. I didn't hang out with nobody. I stayed in my room. I had my devotional. I had brought my Bible with me and a devotional, right? So I had my Bible, my journal, my devotional. I stayed in my room. I was just reading the scriptures. And when it's like when that spirit come upon you, you really feel sad, right? Because you know what sin do to God, how it make him feel. So I was just, you feel like you want to repent and ask for forgiveness. You just got that sadness on you, right? So you feel disgusted with yourself. Like, yo, I really played myself. I really was out here doing this. Like, I played myself, right? So you feel sad. So I was in that room like, dang, I really played myself. And I was just praying, asking for forgiveness. I was reading my word, right?
Holy Spirit convicted you.
Exactly. Like, so it was a heavy conviction. So from that day forward, everything just took a turn, right? Once I was like, you know what, I'm going with God 100%. So you start breaking little things little by little as you grow more in the spirit. You start hanging out with certain friends. You stop listening to certain music, right? You stop hanging out with certain friends.
Right.
You start putting yourself around more spiritually inclined people, right? More people that have the same beliefs as you, and y'all grow together. You join a church, you join a community, and you do more things in that nature, and you grow more and more. So thank God that even happened. But the ironic part is it was this time, like today, a couple years ago too. So we having an interview on a perfect day. It's funny because we supposed to have the interview a different day, but I guess this is the perfect day, right? Look at that.
Right. Yes. Look how the Lord does. Amen. Amen. As I was told you about the other. I mean, when I first started the whole interview, that he wasn't a Christian artist; he was a secular artist. But when he started to really become a Christian, that's why you don't see that many like videos really on his on his page or anything, because to be honest with you, he's really just becoming a Christian, kind of, sort of. Like, I think about 2 years, 2 years. How many years is it been?
Like about 2-3 years in now. Probably like 2 years. I'm 2 years in.
All right. But yeah, he deleted every single song that he used to have, and he got this song that I just played. So tell us about the song. Tell us who the producer, who's the producer, where the inspiration came out off of this song, and but yeah, let's break it down to us.
So when I first gave my life, like you said, I was purging everything, right? Like, yo, I'm good off of this, I'm good off of that, because I was deep in this music industry. I was touring all over, all that type of stuff. So I took it like, I ain't just jump and start doing music like, oh, I'm a believer, even though it's not to judge other people, but myself personally, I didn't say like, oh, I'm a believer, so let me just start doing Christian music. I said, I got to hold off of all of this. I got to know who God is. I got to grow in him. I got to see like what he even want me to do, right? Do he want me to do music? Do he want me to do something else? So I took a pause. Like you said, I deleted everything. And certain songs I can't delete because there's like other artists that put them up. And I'm working on deleting that, but I got to just drop more music. But so I started taking down all kind of stuff, or asking other people like, hey, can you take this down? Like, I started taking down my pictures, and then I went on a process. Now, it might sound like I'm young in the faith, even though I am, but I have a lot of passion and zeal. Like, I put a lot of work in, and I think that God is like growing me at a different rate than most, right? But I think that's also based on my impact, like who I can inspire, how influential I am and stuff like that. But when I got out of it, I didn't do no music at all. I started a discipleship program, right? So I had a discipler. We worked on that. I just work on diving in my word. I joined numerous Bible studies, right? I just wanted the fullness of it. Now, even after that, I joined like a theology school, right? So I took some classes in the theology school. In Numa Life is attached to another college, right? So I was taking classes in that. I'm like, I don't want to just jump and do music, right? I want to have substance. I want to know what I'm talking about. And then it probably was like a year after. By this time, I'm baptized, I'm married, a bunch of different things. And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go for this music thing again, where I'm gonna be used in this certain aspect. And that was a song that I dropped. Now in the song, it's more like, yeah, I'm back and the devil mad type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just showcasing that I was living a lie, right?
Right.
Like I was living, like even in the like it go both like the lyrics kind of speak for themselves, right? I was saying like, oh, pray to the Most High. Most of my people be living a lie, living to die, like, you know. So I'm speaking to myself at the same time, right? And I'd be like, I know the devil mad, right? Because I was lost, but now I'm good, and this is who I'm living for. So it was that announcement that I took all my songs down, but I still do music, and this is who I'm living for. This is who I'm riding with now. So I shot the video in my old neighborhood where I shoot a lot of other videos and proclaim some of that. Like through the visuals, you can see like some of the hardships that people go through. And I was pushing more like, all right, Christ is the way of these hardships. Not saying you're going to be a millionaire, but saying this life is only for a little bit. You want to focus on the next one. And even in this one with Christ, you got peace in it. So that was like the whole thing with the music thing. And even with that, I'm still touchy to this day, right? Not jumping in it, because I feel like you got to be aware. In this, when you got a certain level of fame, right, or clout, you could get caught up in pride. You could get caught up in lust. So you have to be aware of where you operate yourself at, right? You could get 100,000 views and you could get caught up in yourself. So I'm still slowly in it. And I also had like trust issues in the faith. You saw how you was like in the beginning, you was like, y'all want to see who I interview, because sometimes they might not be on that. That's why I don't do no features. But I've been speaking to some brothers and sisters in Christ and my wife, and they've been motivating me like, you know, it's good to do features because you can't control everybody. You just focus on yourself and make sure you promoting your message. Because I was like, I don't want to do a song with a brother and then next year he not in Christ no more, but now my name is attached to him. But I can't live with that fear though, so I'm working on it.
Right. But if he a true brother right now, I think like you could like do and work with him, because you don't have control of the future or anything like that, or how people are gonna live their life.
Me. I got to get Preach to talk on one of my tracks. He motivated me to do the feature.
But yes, but yeah, people you can't just be feeling like, oh my goodness, like he said, I always try to look like listen, every single day, I have a like from a so-called Christian, and I'm going to say so-called because her page doesn't says otherwise. So she always liked my page, and she got John 3:16 right in her bio. So when I click her bio, I'm like, oh, I said, oh, somebody else just followed me. I said, who this is? I pushed the person, and all the pictures is nude pictures.
Yeah, you could get caught up.
I'm like, how in the world is she have the Bible verse claiming that Jesus come first, and she had this in her these videos and pictures on her page? I'm like, I'm done with this. I didn't even fool her, like, and every single day. Right.
You know what that I had to do before? You could remove a follower too, so you don't even they not following you no more neither. Sometimes we was talking about that too in the men's Bible study. Like, we got to set boundaries and be aware, because it doesn't mean like just because I don't want that person near me don't mean that person's a bad person and they not on their own walk. But I have to protect myself and my eyes and my vessel. So that's good that you do that. That's good advice for anybody out there.
Right, because once you get caught in the lust type of sin, it is very, very hard to get out. It's easy to get in. The doors is open.
2 seconds to get in.
It doesn't. Why you don't take these? All you need to take is a little push for you to be in, and you in. But the chains is on you when you already in, and it's hard to get back out the door. So that's what I'm to say. Just watch your eyes, guard your heart. Ask the Lord to help you and guide you through your walk with Christ. So definitely. We was talking about like we want to talk about the whole armor of God. Remember?
It's funny that you said that too, because you was just saying that too. Like when you're saying God to God, you know what I mean? God me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he tell you to put your armor on to withstand the schemes. So it's like, you know, you're gonna get some schemes and wiles from the devil. So you better armor up.
Right. Right. It's just like in any other battle, no idiot with proper sense would go out in a battle, like natural battle. I'm talking about natural battle right now.
Mm-hmm.
And without any armor, without any guns, without any ammunition. If you know you won't be in a fight zone where people are shooting
Yeah, you gotta
guns
be ready for it then.
and and bombs, you're gonna get a grenade, you're gonna get you a bazooka, you gonna get your brothers behind you to have your back, you gonna
Mm-hmm.
get armor up, you gonna get prepared for the battle at hand. So why is it so difficult for people to think about, man, I want the armor of God, but I don't want to put time in it? Because you can't just, the armor of God in spiritual warfare is not just putting on a helmet.
Yeah,
It's praying, it's fasting, it's seeking God early, giving Him your time, um, giving your time, and always putting Him first. It's like always fast. That's the main one reason people don't like fasting. I know it's like,
I think that a lot of people don't understand that they in a war, right? You
what?
said how your
Mhm.
scenario. You said when I'm going out to a war, anybody in their right mind would know to prepare for that war. But the trick
Facts.
that always been here is having people not understand that they are in the war. There's a
Right,
lot of people that don't even really believe in the enemy, right? So they wouldn't think
right.
they're in the war. I think that's the first thing. And I asked a believer that, do you know that you're in a war? And I don't think some people read their word enough. We all know that people don't read their word enough for themselves. And the next factor is understanding. Because even if you got the armor, right? So you got the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the feet of the gospel of peace, the sword of the spirit, the belt of truth, right? So now
Right,
it's like, if you don't understand salvation, how can you put that helmet on? If you don't understand
right,
the gospel, how can you put that feet on, right? If you never
right.
read your word, how can you grab that sword? If you don't
And,
have if you don't have no understanding of the truth, right? Because God is the truth, you can't put on that belt of truth, right? And the same thing, that's going to limit your faith. So your faith
and
going to be shaky. So it's impossible to put that armor on without understanding of the armor.
right. And you need proper training, just as a real soldier. And if you're not reading your Bible, studying, being prepared, you can be like, you are unarmed soldier, you're not
Mm-hmm.
trained very well, and you go in a battlefield that you don't know your surroundings. You
Exactly.
go in a battlefield that you don't know who's coming or what enemy you're facing against. How in the world could you fight an enemy if you don't know about them? Every general, every general that prepare for a battle study their enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Have a map. The map is the Bible. The enemy, we know who the enemy is, Satan. We study him. We know his attacks. He come to you sometimes through people, and it's true. He come to you sometime. It's in your head. Put things in your head. Let's see if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
fall into temptation. It's true. It's true. I'm going there. He come to you sometime in family. It's happened. It happened. I'm going
Exactly.
there. The enemy gonna do anything that he can see if he can penetrate that armor of yours. Anything. Just one little hole is all he needs to make you weak and make in your mind that I'm really prepared for this battle. And then when
Mm-hmm.
you go inside the battle, you get defeated, and you're like, Lord, why? I'm gonna bring this story up. It was in the Bible. Joshua, when God told them not to steal any ornaments, any silver or gold
And
from
don't
their
take it with
enemies, yeah, take it with them. Somebody did,
them.
and then it was another battle, and they like, we can win this battle. Like, we just need a couple 200, 2,000 people. We got this. They got whooped.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't ready. Why? Because something was weighing them down. Sin. Sin was in the camp, and He can't operate in sin. You got to get your life cleaned up. And there's a lot of time when you don't get your blessing. I always try to give people this analogy. Your analogy is this: is that your blessing comes through a big pipe from the skies. And listen, from heaven. And every time you sin or fall short, you clogging it up. And you saying, Lord, why am I getting blessed? but your blessing trying to come. You just got it clogged up by sins that you did, some sins that you didn't confess yet, some things in your past that you haven't been forgiven. It's us. It's us. So we got to be physically and mentally prepared for spiritual battle and natural battle. Because if you got the armor on, if you're not physically and like mentally prepared, it doesn't matter how strong you are.
Mm-hmm.
David was physically prepared for his battle. His battle was a giant. He knew who had his side. He had his armor on. No, he didn't. He only had a slingshot. He didn't need to have a natural armor. And yes, Goliath, he had a big armor. That's how the enemy sometimes deceive us. Like he looked like he got this silver steel armor on, but this really paper. It's paper on. So you be like, oh my goodness, I don't want to face against him. He got the steel. He's big. He this and that. But David saw right through the giant. Like you're not bigger than my God.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't. You really do got to be mentally and physically prepared.